And then how do I send the video to everyone else? Oh shit. Yeah, it's fine. Uh-huh. Looks like we're in business. Super cool. Well, after that fiasco, welcome back. We are doing some functional exercise this morning. Again, my name is Alex. In case the title of the video didn't give it away, or in case you don't know me, we're doing functional exercise this morning. Functional exercise is any exercises that makes you more effective or efficient at what you do every day. And so let's get moving. We're going to start off a little warm up. We're going to do some hip activation and some core activation, as well as some shoulder stuff, some reaching from the quadruped position. I think it's a great position to start in because it really helps get the core engaged and the body moving. In a suspended position, similar but opposite, I would say, to climbing. So everyone can start with their hands on the floor and be on your knees. We're going to get into this position right here. Nice flat back. And we're going to start off with fire hydrants. Fire hydrants are great for opening up the hips. All you're going to do is raise. We're going to start with the left leg, your leg to the outside. Try and keep your hips facing, hips and shoulders all facing the floor. And you're going to bring your leg out as wide as it will go without rotating your hips out and up like this. Good. We'll go for 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, now we're going to do bird dog. Bird dog is also in our quadruped crawling position. And what you're going to do is you're going to reach with your right arm and your left leg. You're going to try and keep your back flat. You're going to press your hand into the floor hard. Reach out hard with that leg and reach out straight with that arm. Now try not to get any bend through the mid back. Try and keep everything straight by engaging the core. We're going to bring it back, bring your knee and elbow together. Reach out with both, nice and straight. Elbow and hand together, reach out nice and straight. Elbow and hand together, reach out nice and straight. Let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to go left arm, right leg. Reach out nice and straight. Nice tight core. Straight arm, straight leg. And elbow together. Out. Elbow together. Out. elbow together, reach out, elbow together, reach out, elbow and knee together, reach out. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now we're going to do some shoulder circles. And start by, we're going to take your arms and reach out to the sides with your fingers pulled up as high as you can. And some people may feel a little tingling in their arms when they do this. It's okay. No worries. We're going to start by making little baby circles. Real small movements. Going backwards. It's a backwards circle. And we're going to go, just keep moving. It's consistent movement. I find time is better than counting. And notice I'm going to go a little wider and a little wider as I make each circle, but keeping my fingers pulled back to the outside. And if you look at the side view, I am nice and straight. I'm not letting my back arch at all. My core is engaged. A little wider. Keep going. A little wider. Now make the biggest, widest circle that you can make. And rest for a second, shake out those arms, shake out those shoulders, and reach back to the outside. We're going to go the other direction. We're going to make circles from the opposite direction. We're just moving. So for me, move forward. The way the circle's moving forward. Keeping those fingers pulled back and arms straight. Slightly wider, slightly wider. Going. Long, deep breaths. Make sure that that core is engaged, that head's up nice and high, looking off into the distance, maybe over your neighbor's fence, over the mountains in the distance. Even wider. And go as wide as you can, going forward. And rest. Shake it out a little bit. I think those are a great start to your climbing day and a workout day. Next, we're going to do rotations. So those are circles. We're going to do rotations. What you want to do is we want to be rotating the shoulder. Or rotating the arm at the shoulder. So what you're going to do is you're going to press again, hands out just like you did before. I want you to rotate that hand all the way down, keeping your arms as high, well, not as high as you can, at a T. And then you're going to take your hands, you're going to rotate them backwards as far as you can, tucking in those shoulder blades to the back pockets. It's tempting in this position to let the back arch, keep everything engaged. Nice flat abs and core and back. Rotate the other direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's great, guys. All right. Next, we're going to do good mornings. We're going to get up onto our feet. Good mornings are hip hinge exercise, very similar to a deadlift. You're going to keep your legs mostly straight. They can have a gentle bend in them if you want, about here. And you put your hands on your head. Essentially, you're going to stick your butt straight backwards, keeping your back flat, and then you're going to come up. Stick your butt straight backwards, leaning forward, keeping good posture, and come back up. 2. You may feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings. 4, 5. I go until I have a natural stopping point in my stretch in the hamstrings. Other people will be a little bit more flexible. 8, 9, and 10. All right, and last time we did single leg reach and twist. I'm going to come back to that, but we're going to take out the twist, because we're going to bring that into a deadlift, single leg deadlift later. So you're going to start on your right foot. When you're on your right foot, that's your supporting leg. You sweep that left foot back, and we're going to similarly as the last exercise, let that right leg, that supporting leg, bend a little bit as we lean forward and sweep that left leg back. You're going to go as far down as you can. Pretend you're picking something up. Now, common mistake people make in this is they let their body be limp like this. I want you to stick that back foot as far back as you can. Keep good posture over this leg and keep that core engaged. This will give you a straight spine all the way down. Up. Reach. Whoop. Some of us lose our balance in the morning, especially me. Sweep back. Do 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now we're going to do it on the left leg. Let's do 10 on the left leg. Sweep that right leg back. Keeping a straight leg. Straight right leg. Left leg bends a little bit. And straight line from your heel to your head. Right heel to your head, there's a straight line. Reaching back again. 2, 3. Again, that supporting leg, 4. Can bend a little bit. 5, 6. All of this action is going to be in the hip of the supporting leg. 8, 9, reach, whoop, and all right, I'm gonna go through all that. Actually, no, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to our tactical frog. Tactical frog is, I think, one of the best hip openers that I've found. It's a little compromising, so if you're doing this in public, I recommend doing it with your feet to a wall. What you're gonna do, so for that, the reason I really love this exercise is because a lot of times in climbing, we need to get our feet up really high, and we need to have mobility and the strength to do that, and then to use that high foot and drive through. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back to our crawling position, except we're going to have our knees out wide, and so we're going to have your knees and feet at a 90 degree. And you're going to spread your knees pretty much as wide as you can go, find your max stretch, and then come in about an inch so that you have room to move. And notice my knee and hip, or my hips are right between my knees, and my back is as flat as I can, and then my knees are bent at about a 90 degree. So what you're going to do now, you're going to drive your hips back between your feet as far as you can go. And again, this should be a moderate stretch. This shouldn't be crazy intense. Feel a little uncomfortable, that's okay. If you're extremely uncomfortable, bring those knees together a little bit, or just don't go as far into it. Once we're back, we hold it for a little bit. We'll do 2 breaths. 2 more anyways. And then we'll rock forward, keeping that back flat and tucking that tailbone in towards the floor. Now roll as far forward as we can. Again, moderate stretch. Now in this position, it's tempting to let those feet come up. I want you to drill those feet into the floor. Keep them glued to the floor. And then rock back. Good. 3 breaths here. Rock forward as far as you can. Go back. This is one of my favorite stretches. Okay, once we're back like this, what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit more stretch off the inside of our thigh. What we're going to do is imagine you've got a laser pointing straight down towards the floor from your belly button. I want you to turn that laser from your belly button to the left, which will stretch your right inside of your thigh, your adductor, a little bit more. Hold it for 2 breaths. Now face that laser to the right to stretch your left hip a little bit more. It's a small little wink with the hips from side to side. And then we will go back to the left, back to the right, back to the left, back to the right, left, right, and back to the middle. Drive back a little farther again. A little extra stretch in those hips. Come back forward one more time. And then we'll come back to our crawl position. We're going to do a bear crawl again. So here's what I want you guys to do. I'm going to drill our hands to the floor. Keep a nice straight back. You're going to pick up your knees. Make sure that your toes are curled up underneath so that you have a stable platform to be on. You don't want to be like this. You want those toes tucked up in there. So knees are lifted off the floor. For some people, this is quite a challenging position. If you find this position pretty manageable, I want you to try marching. Right hand and left foot. Lift your right hand and left foot off the floor and set them back down. Left hand, right foot, set them back down. Now, imagine you've got that hot cup of morning coffee on your back. You don't want it to spill. Do not let that back wobble back and forth. You want to stay nice and stable. Prove that you own this position. Part of what makes really good climbers is they own every position that they have. That takes calm and control. Lift and sit down, lift and sit down. We're just going to keep marching for a little bit. If you find that this is too hard, but keep marching, but just standing there is too easy, you can just raise one limb at a time. Just go around in a circle, raising one limb at a time. Totally great. Do 2 more breaths. Consistent movement. All right, good job, guys. We're going to go back to our halo. We're going to do a great halo. So halos can be done with a towel, with an elastic band, with a book, with a kettlebell. I love doing it with a kettlebell. I like to have a little bit of weight behind it. If you have a book, that's great too. And this is to get really good shoulder mobility for reaching through our climbing. So take your hands. I'll start with the towel. And we want our arms bent at about a 90-degree-ish. And you're going to move your hands, move the towel around your head. Your head's not going to move. We also want to not break. We don't want to let our ribs flex. So pack those ribs down. We're going to do our small kneel. Keep that tailbone tucked in, flexing the glutes. Again, don't let those ribs flare forward. Hands, take the towel, bring your right hand around behind your head. Pull that left hand over, and right hand out in front, or left hand out in front, and then come to the front. And we'll go backwards. So left arm over, pull it across behind you, right elbow high, and right hand in front of you. Show you again. Right hand over, pull that towel across behind you, left elbow high, and bring it back out in front of you. No moving the head, and no letting that core break. We'll do 5 of these on each side. Great job. All right, we're going to go to now hip airplane. The hip airplane is a progression from the single leg reach that we just did. We're going to have the same position. If you find that holding even a slightly reached position is really challenging, this is where we're going to start. But there's 3 different positions we can do this in. Now to do it from a kickstand position where a foot's just behind you. Again, the foot that's reaching back, there's a straight line from that foot all the way to your head. You can do this exercise from kind of a halfway position, and you can also do it from a full drinking bird or single leg deadlift position. Now, what our object is to rotate at the hips, just like we did with the single leg reach and twist last week Wednesday. However, we're going to do it from one of those three positions I just showed you. So it's going to look like this, and you can have your hands out to the side or on your hips, either one. Remember, all that rotation is coming only from this hip. We're not rotating in our chest or our core. So our hips and shoulders are going to face in the same positions the whole time. Just like this, you rotate, standing on that right leg, rotate up to the left, and come back to the middle, face the middle, rotate up to the left, standing on that right leg, and up to the middle. It's going to look like this from the full single leg deadlift position. Rotate. It almost looks like you're about to go into half moon in yoga, and then come back. Okay, we're going to try 5 on each side. This exercise is very challenging. If you need to, you can do this exercise holding onto something out in front of you, as long as you have a straight line all the way down from your foot. So now we're standing on our left leg, and I'm going to show you reaching out and using an aid in this kickstand position. If you find that more advanced version's great for you, keep going that way. So left foot, reach that right foot back, straight leg, all the way up to your core. If you need something out in front of you, that's great. That's totally okay. Rotate that right hip up and let it come back to neutral. Rotate that right hip up and let it come back to neutral. Go. Total of 5 times. 3, 4, 5. Those are pretty challenging. If you find that you're losing your balance when you are, all right, we're gonna go back to our tactical frog. So we're gonna get back on our hands and knees. And we're gonna get nice and wide. I'm gonna show you guys my knee position here. So hips are right between my knees, and my knees are bent at a 90 degree. My back is nice and flat. And I'm going to rock back. I'm going to push my hips down between my feet. This is, again, one of my favorite exercises when I have to get a high foot, especially when it's in a position, rock forward, especially when it's in a position where it's high up into the side and I need to keep my hips really close to the wall. Oftentimes, if I find that a foot's there and I keep falling off because I feel like my hips are pulling me away from the wall, I'll go down, I'll do this stretch for about 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Go backwards, push deep back into it. And sometimes the move will feel a little bit easier because I can keep my hips a little closer to the wall. Not forward. Awesome. Rock backward. Rock forward. Hold this for 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. And as we push back into it, now we're going to take that laser. It's aiming from your belly button to the floor. Tip it to the left to stretch that right hip. Hold that for 2 breaths. And aim it to the right. Stretch that left hip. And to the left. And to the right. Stretch the left. right, left, right. Oh, right here. Awesome. All right, and we'll come back to the middle, and we'll go back to our bear crawl. Now, if that marching in place consistently was challenging for you, let's stick with that. If it felt pretty easy, and again, you can march one limb at a time. That's great too. Or if it's too hard to lift up a limb, if you feel like you're falling over every time you lift an arm or a leg, just hold that crawl position with those knees up. That can be really challenging for a lot of people. One more progression from that is we're going to raise an opposite hand leg. We're going to hold it for 3 breaths. Then we're going to switch. We're going to go 5 times on each side. All right, so we get into our bear position. Make sure that your knees are under your hips, hands are pressed into the floor, and if you had a hot cup of coffee, it could stay in your back. You don't want to be up too high. This is high bear, we're in low bear. So raise your right hand, left leg off the floor, hold it for 3 breaths. Switch. I find this is really good. Switch. You'll notice if you try pushing or pulling your switch shoulder towards your back pocket, flexing those lats really helps you stay stable. Switch. Keeping that head nice and high, the chin tucked. Switch. Last one on each side. Ooh, stay nice and stable. And down. Cool. Many times in climbing, there's a right hand and a left foot. We have to maintain stability in order to reach towards that next hold. Those bear crawls really help build that cross body stabilization. All right, back to our halos. I'm going to use the kettlebell for this. You guys can use a book or a dumbbell if you have one. Anything that weighs a little bit is okay. We're going to stay nice and tall. And we're going to go starting to the left, right elbow high. Let that book, weight, or whatever you have, pull those hands down towards your butt a little bit, but don't let that back break. Keep that core engaged. And bring it back to the front. Then left elbow high, right elbow high. There we go, that's 1. We'll switch sides. There we go. And that's 2. Remember, if you're doing this with a kettlebell, have the bell face up. Keep moving. And that's 3. And remember, you're moving your towel, kettlebell, whatever, around your head. You're not moving your head back and forth. There we go. All right, 5 of those. All right, next, we're going to go back to our hip airplane. We're going to go to a stand. And whichever variation you thought was best for you, we'll go with that. We're going to go 5 times each side. This is pretty challenging. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit to our hip airplane. So once we reach out, we're going to rotate up just like we did before. As far as you can and maintain stability, keeping your hip and shoulders moving as a single unit. Next, we're going to try and rotate to the inside. So if you're sitting on a right leg, our left hip is going to dive a little bit towards the floor. And then we're going to come back up. You might feel a big stretch in your butt. That's okay. All right, we'll go 5 to each side. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, Great job. All right, we're gonna go on the left leg now. So take that right leg, sweep it back, straight line from your heel to your head, as far back as you feel you can maintain balance through this exercise. And hands out here or on your hips, wherever you need them to be to stay balanced. You may use something in front of you. As we're standing on our left leg, our right hip is going to open up. Again, you're rotating all on that supporting leg, your hips. Go back down. Your hips and shoulders should be moving in about the same rate. You don't want any twists in the spine. 2. As far as you can without losing your balance. There's 3. Whew, my feet are getting tired. 4. And then last one. Keep it steady, y'all. Keep breathing. Oh, losing my balance. If you lose your balance, that's okay. Just come back to the middle. A lot of times if I lose my balance, I think it's because I'm not pushing far enough back on that back heel and engaging in that core. So that's a big cue to help you out. Great, hope you like those. We're going to get into some more business. We're going to do a rolling plank. We're going to do single leg deadlifts. So we're going to keep using the single leg hinge pattern. So we're going to get some weights. You can use milk jug. You can use a big old bottle of laundry detergent. And you can use anything that's got a little bit of weight to it is really great. But essentially we're doing that single leg reach pattern with a little bit of a weight. And I'll show you that in a second. All right. After that, we're going to do a little bent over row. So we're going to get in our hinge pattern like we on 2 legs, like we did our good mornings to warm up. We're going to do a little bit of pulling. And then we're going to do a little bit of core, a little whole body hold, maybe a rock with it as well. So starting with the rolling plank. You're going to get into a low plank on your forearms, except you're going to have your hands crossed like this. I like to make a fist on the floor. So if I'm facing you, you're the floor. And what you're going to do is you're going to drive that fist into the floor to rotate your body. And I'll show you what it looks like. So hands on the floor, nice flat back. I want you to have wide feet, a little bit wider than your shoulders. And you're going to drive those fists and those elbows into the floor. You're going to tuck that tailbone. What I don't want is I don't want your back sagging. That's loose and weak. We want a nice, strong, stable core, strong, stable shoulders. Now, we're going to roll to the side. So we're going to start on our right side. I'm going to drive my right fist into the floor hard, and my right shoulder into the floor hard, which rotates me. We're going to go onto the sides of our feet, and we're going to come back. Now, where a lot of people go wrong on this is they lead with their hip and they fall into the side plank position, and that's weak. We don't want weak shoulder, and we don't want a weak side. We're going to keep that nice and high. If you can't hold it, that's okay. Go back to the right side. If you can't hold it, we can go to a knee. I would rather you stay high and be on your knee than be on your feet and be collapsing in. So rotate to the right, come back to the middle, we'll go to the left, stay nice and high, nice and high. Okay, rotate back to the middle, go to the right shoulder. Now, if this is easy for you, we're going to raise a leg up. Back to the middle, wide feet, turn to the left, and raise the leg up. Back to the right again. Even on the knee down position, you can still raise a leg, almost in a clamshell. It's really a really good workout. Straight legs, tight core, tuck tailbone to the left, raise that left leg. All right. Next, we're going to go to our single leg deadlift. Just like we did with your your single leg reaches and your hip airplane, we're sweeping the foot back. We're having a straight line from that back foot to our head. Now, the difference is, let's say we don't have enough mobility to get all the way down and grab whatever's in front of us. We can bend that front knee. We can bend that supporting leg just enough to get there. If you want to stay in a Romanian deadlift, some people have a straighter leg. I prefer a more bent leg because that's more functional for what we're doing in climbing. We're getting our feet up on that overhang and we're driving down to pop those hips in closer to the wall. And so a bent leg, I think, is better. It's a little bit safer too. So let's say we're starting on our right leg. We're going to have whatever we're picking up right in front of us. It could honestly be a backpack with looks in it for all I care. Start on our right leg, sweep that left leg back. You're going to grab with your left hand. Now my right hand, I'm going to keep it a fist. Pushing that left leg back, pushing that left leg back. Right leg is bending to get into the floor. Straight back. And I'm not going to pull this off the ground. I'm just going to stand up and it's in my hand. And I'm going to reach down and I'm going to bend my front knee, hinge forward, for as long as it takes for it to sit down on the floor and then come back up. Same thing on the left leg now. So I'm going to reach that right foot back, allowing the left leg to bend a little bit, grabbing with the right hand. I have a moderate amount of stretch in my left leg. I can bend that leg a little bit more if I need to. Again, this back leg is nice and high and nice and straight. I'm going to pull whatever I'm lifting up off the ground. Set it back down. Think of this less as you're picking something up and more as you're still just doing your single leg reach or your hip airplane with a weight in your hand. And you're on the right side again. And then the left. Setting it down in between each one. When you get to the stand, you want to stand up nice and tall. We don't want to be in a slouch position. Reach that right leg. Whoop. If you lose your balance, just start over. No big deal. Bend that knee, set it down, nice and straight. Very good. Okay, a couple things we want to make sure. Keep those hips facing towards the floor and keep that back leg really straight. Cool, we'll come back to these. We'll do a few more in the next set. If you have a bag that's a little heavier, these can get a little challenging, but start easy. You want it to feel pretty easy when you're learning the exercise. All right, next, we're going to do a bent over row. So that good morning position that we had before. The straight back, slightly bent knees. When we come over to here, this is our position that we're going to row from. We're going to hold this position with a nice pack. I really love this exercise for preparing for climbing because it's a nice pull. For those of us who don't have anything overhead to pull on, like a hangboard or a pull-up bar, that includes me. I have no pull-up bar in this department. So we're going to stick our butt back, we pick up our weight, and what you're going to do is you're going to reach forward with both hands, even though you only have a weight in one hand, and to make sure that your hands are the same height. Next, you're going to pack that shoulder down and back like this. You don't want your shoulder up nice high and you right? Packed into your back like this, that lat. So you're going to take that hand that you're holding the weight in, and you're going to pull straight back as far as you can without that shoulder diving. And reach, pull, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is challenging, 5 is great. If it's easy, you can do 10, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll switch sides. Keep that hinged position, but don't allow that back to round in either direction. Rip those feet apart and pull. 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do this with a band. If you're standing on a band, you can pull. Pretty great. All right, bent over rows. Wonderful. Next, when you're hollow body hold, this one's pretty challenging. We're going to lay on our backs. And to whatever extent you can, we're going to do this exercise. There's a couple different variations. The base variation is to have our low back press as hard as we can against the floor, and we're going to hold it. We're going to have our feet off the floor and our hands behind our heads. As long as you're pressing that low back into the floor, you're hollowing out that body and keeping a nice tight core. This is super important for climbers because when we're doing movements, we need to be stable in that core all the time, trying to raise those legs, move and rotate. And if you don't have the control to keep this position, it's going to be a lot harder on you. And so just building this position is really great. So some of us, that was quite difficult. If that was easy, you can put your arms up behind you. If it's still easy, you can lift those shoulder blades off the floor, but keep that head pulled back. 3 more breaths. And rest. Awesome job, guys. I'm going to go back up into that one more time. We're going to do 5 breaths on. And up. When you do that at home, you can do this as long as it takes to get you burned out. Now, I find that if we are undisciplined in our positioning, if we're just sitting here like this isn't that hard because I'm using my arms to raise my head and I'm not engaging through my whole core. I have my toes pointed out and my head back in a straight line. Having a straight line from my head down through my shoulder blades is a lot harder. Something to work into. It's really great. All right, we're going to go back to a rolling plank. Remember, we're going to start like this. We're going to do 3 rotations to each side, and then we're going to try and hold that last side for a little bit on each side. So you're going to fists and elbows on the floor, legs straight out behind you, nice and wide, up high in your plank. I'm going to rotate to the left, driving with that shoulder, pushing that fist into the floor. Raise the leg if you can. If you can't, it's okay. Hips facing the floor. Now we're going to go to the right side. Raise that leg. Come back to the front. Back to the right. Raise the right arm off the ground. Raise the leg. Drive the right arm to the floor. Raise the leg. All right, this is the last time, the left side. Nice feet nice and wide. Make it count. Roll to the side. We're going to hold this for 20 seconds. If you can hold it with your leg in the air for 20 seconds, more power to you. Go for it. "20 seconds for me is about 8 to 10 breaths. And switch. I'm going to hold it. Again, if you can raise your arm up high, I'm going to raise your leg up high. You can do that. And back to the middle. And knees down. All right, great job, guys. I'll come back to that single leg deadlift. If what you were carrying was too light, you can add books. If it was too heavy and you couldn't control it, you can take a little weight away with something lighter. I like this guy. nice and moderate. And again, these shouldn't be excruciatingly difficult. They should be moderately challenging for now, especially for at-home maintenance. So, something to keep in mind with whatever you're picking up, it should be right in front of your feet. You don't want to be grabbing something that's really far out, because then you're going to lose your posture in your back, and it adds extra strain to your back. So make sure that your feet are right in front of whatever you're going to pick up. Let's do 4 on each leg. You're going to reach back with the left leg, stabilizing the right foot. Let that right leg bend, and keep that left leg nice and straight. Grab the kettlebell or whatever you're lifting up, maybe a backpack with your left arm, and come to a stand. Then you roll back over, stick that leg out, keeping everything nice and tall and proud. And come back up. Do it on the right leg, or left leg, sorry. Reach back with that right, set it down. Switch sides, left arm, right leg. Swing that left leg back, standing tall, sit it down. Oops. Left leg back, standing on the right leg. Come up to a stand, nice and tall. Now we're going to go left arm, or right arm, left leg. Whew. Grab on, come on up. Set it down, nice and slow. Notice the whole point in these is to maintain smooth control over mass amount of weight. Now, if I picked up a ton of weight, I could lift heavier than this, but I want to grab the weight that I can control and stay in really good form with, not yanking anything off the ground. Again, if you start to lose your balance in this activity, you can put that foot down, come back to the middle, or restart. Sweep that leg straight back, push that back leg towards the wall behind you, and come back to the front. All right. Great work, guys. Now we're going to do our bent over row. Oh, I'm going to keep the same weight. Bent over row. Let's start with the weight in our hand. I'm going to start standing. Stick that butt back into a hinged position. Want that back nice and flat. And you're going to imagine you've got a $100 bill under your armpit as you pull the weight up as high as you want without that shoulder diving, and let it back down towards the floor. Squeeze a $100 bill and pull that weight back. And keep that elbow tucked into your side. We don't want to be out to the outside. Different exercise. Hold it and let it down. Row, hold it, let it down. Row, hold it, put it down. I'm going to switch hands. Make sure those, I like to press this other hand up to make sure that I'm even. Otherwise, I tend to dive in one shoulder. We don't want to lose our posture. There is function to rowing and letting that body twist. However, this is the better base for that exercise. We build our strength here first. So again, make sure those hands are even. $100 bill under your armpits, and row. 1, hold it, lower. 2, hold it, lower. 3, hold it, lower. 4, hold it, lower. 5, hold it, lower. All right. Last, we're going to combine that hollow body hold with a little rocking motion. If that hold was really hard for you, that's a great place to be working. If it's too hard, you can put one foot down. If it's not hard enough, we're going to rock with it a little bit. So we're going to go Hands above the head. You can either reach to make it a little harder, or I'm gonna have my hands on my head. I'm gonna rock back and forth just a little bit. All baby rocks. Now, I'm gonna try not to let any angle change in my whole body, keeping this nice hollowed up position. Head back, toes pointed. Keep rocking. Keep rocking. And rest. To me, this is one of the best floor exercises for learning how to control your feet in a swing when they're coming off the wall. It's really, really great at building that core tension through that whole body to control that core. All right, you've had your little rest. We're going to go one more time, maybe two more times, who knows. So either hold it or do the rocks with me. Keep that nice hollow position. Eyes towards the sky. Keep rocking. Try and keep smooth, even breathing through it. Ooh, and rest. All right. Great job, guys. That is all I have for you for today. Shoot us a message, comment on the stream if you have any questions. Thanks for those of you who are able to join me today. Hopefully this won't be such a pain in the butt next time. I'll see you Mondays and Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. Have a good one. Thanks for joining me.